It is September 24th, 2024. I found this interview with Stephen Gardner and Mosab Yousef. And you can find Mosab Yousef on Twitter. And I will link his link. Well, you can find him yourself. It's really not that hard, but I will make sure his correct spelling is in the description box below, plus the interview as well. What I have to say about this interview, and I'm going to paraphrase some of the interview, just some portions of it, that what we're about to experience in America, if we haven't already, is, to say it bluntly, is a war is coming to America, and it's already here. And as you can tell with the rioting that has been provoked because of what happened October 7th and what's going on with the fatwa that has claimed the lives of thousands of people in Israel and also in Palestine. This is about to just blow up. Now, what's going on at the UN? I am listening and watching this interview closely, and I would expect that you're going to want to see this interview yourself. That's why I'm going to link it in the interview. I'm going to link the interview in the description box below. But what Mosab says here on Twitter, Palestinians think gaining global sympathy for their victim narrative, Israel would suddenly disappear. Now, why he said this, listen to this. Mosab Yousef used to be a Palestinian, well, not just used to be, he is the son of a Hamas leader. And originally, his roots go back to the Muslim country of which is called by the name of Palestine. And why I say Palestine is it's more of a delusion, as he says. Now, we know in the Word of God it says they will cause a delusion. This is a delusion, as he said in the interview. It's a delusion, and the reason why it's called that is because there's no such thing as a Palestinian state. There wasn't a Palestinian state until 1948. It was run by Britain, and there was a war between Israel and Britain over that land because the British had decided to fight Israel for control. Now, check this out. This just happened today at the UN. The British PM calls for immediate ceasefire in Gaza and return to the sausages. I have no idea what that really means, but something that's just really strange. Now, on the 22nd at the UN, they all voted for a ceasefire and also splitting and dividing East Jerusalem. And the UN called for this on the 22nd. That was, what day was that? The 22nd? Sunday? Okay, that happened on Sunday. You know, there's a storm brewing right now in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, the last time this happened, remember Katrina? When George Bush decided to give back the West Bank to the Palestinians, Katrina happened almost simultaneously. Yeah, that's the wrath of God. You don't divide. Sorry. You don't divide God's land without wrath coming with it, right? That's what I've always been told. Now, please hear me out. If you're one of those people that believes in fire and brimstone, this is fire and brimstone kind of stuff. But what Mosab Yousef went on to say about the Palestinian cause is that this is a global jihad. This isn't just about peace and land and securing a solution. This is more than that. And he knows better than anybody else about what's going on with Hamas. Hamas is defined in the Bible as violence. So we should know the language in the Bible, what Hamas really is defined. And if you want to know the definition of the Hamas, please use your concordance and use it to get the correct definition of what Hamas means. This is some information that all of us need to be aware of. Okay, so I said a mouthful, but I didn't say as much as needs to be said about this interview. Stephen Gardner was a little stumped by some of this. I have to admit, so was I. I didn't know as much as I know now. What is going on is this global jihad is sweeping the world through a propaganda war against Israel. And the propaganda war started long before even October 7th. But we know October 7th, there was a violent attack against Israel that claimed the lives of 1,200 people in Israel. And it was so violent and it was so evil, but somehow in all this, see, the people of the Muslim world assembled and assimilated. And this jihad is going bigger, growing faster. And the thing is that because of all the protests, it's about a humanitarian effort in the Gaza, as we know. But the propaganda war against Israel is so incredible that it's got people that normally wouldn't question humanitarian issues asking whether Israel is responsible for the deaths of the civilians in the food trucks that are still in areas of Egypt. So we ask the questions about what's going on with the humanitarian issue. But Hamas, again, is in understandably a fatwa. So we need to know the truth, and I will encourage you to watch this interview. He says it better than I could ever explain it. I'm just covering the bases here. The UN, as far as we know, is now officially making the decision to divide Jerusalem. This is prophetic. We should watch and see what this means. For us as Christians, we know there's some other breaking news. There was a church full of Christians praying, and they had their throats slit by a Muslim attacker. It's happening. So we all have to watch and see what the Lord is about to do. I don't know when that day or hour is about to happen here, but I can tell you this. The prophets in the Bible spoke of this, and we should know the hour upon the return of Jesus soon. We should know and watch, for the hour is approaching, and we are watching as these events are taking place. We have hints, we see current events unfolding, and we definitely have signs in the heavens. We have the comet, we have the Star of Jacob, we have the solar eclipse. All these events taking place because we're right in the midst of Feast of Trumpets, in the midst of the Feast of Tabernacles. Something bound to happen. I mean, you can't have it any better than what you have it right now with all these events taking place. So pay attention as you watch and see these events take place. Thank you again for supporting the Third Watch Update. And if you're new here, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate your support. Thank you, and God bless.